And hello to all my Cancer friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for January 2023. Now today they've dialed up a very specific, very special spread for my great Cancers. Now it is going to be a health spread. We're going to set this up in the storyline format. It allows me to be very accurate because it's a big scatter shot across the entire sign of Cancer, telling 3 or sometimes 4 or 5 different stories for different Cancers. Now, why do they want to do an entire spread about your health? Well, there's obviously something very important in there that they want you to be aware of, bring it to your attention, something like that. And also, January is the time when most people do address health, so it makes sense to me. Now, they've asked that I conclude your reading with no extra at the end. Now, when that happens, I usually view that as a good thing, but it can also mean that the health spread is just very big. It's just so big that, we just need to only do this. They need to focus on that alone. Or it just means, hey, for the most part, Cancer's in good spot here, good shape. And Scott, just give them a little bit of this, give them a little bit of this, and they're good to go. They're good to handle it. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to look into all that. We're going to conclude your reading with the rune stone, which is already shuffled up, ready to go. And that's going to bring the whole thing together very nicely for us. The cards are also ready to go, shuffled up. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in actually with the overhead view so you can watch. So here we go with that. I like to share my table with you guys. And we are on and recording what I'm doing now, Cancer. These are my ritual cuts. Basically, we cut each deck into thirds, put them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot, and it's the same procedure for personal private readings. And we are ready to go. So the storyline spread, it starts with 5 cards, and I expand out from there where I need to go. But let's get these 5 first, and then we'll go from there. And keep in mind, this is all going to be about health. And you can see that we have 3 out of 5 inverted, not a big deal as far as that goes, but I do need to get more cards. We're not done yet. Let me see how far I can push this all the way over. Okay. Because this deck that they chose for you here that they're using, I call this my geometric deck, it has a tendency to make very large storylines. And as soon as I say that, of course, they prove me wrong and they stop me. So you can see here we got the Hermit facing inwards. That brackets us off. That gives me a full stop call signal. So there we go. So this is what we're looking at. These are your core cards. Actually, those are your core cards. This is the extra. And then now I got to get the pairings together to figure out what goes with what, who goes with where. This is obviously here. And then it's going to be a nice, easy 2, 2, and 2. So we're going to be looking at 3 different health stories for different Cancers. It's going to look like this. I do need some extra cards to describe certain things. First, is this a person? No, it's not. Over here, these are both pip cards, so I'm just going to get one card to kind of go between the both of them. Describe that. Actually, I'll put that under here. It's the Hierophant card. We'll talk more about that. The picture's not so relevant. Over here, we do need 2 for the Hermit. This is where I need to move this out of the view. I'll move the camera around so you guys can see everything at the end once I'm done. But here, I need to make room. So we got the Hermit card coming in. That gets described by 2 because it's a Major Arcana card. This one we have a person, so I need to verify is that a person. It is not a person, so that gets discarded. The stories are ready to go. The only thing I need now is an Angel Oracle card for every single story, and then check the inverts one more time. But I think we're pretty good everywhere. So this one first goes there. That's going to keep that one good. That story is closed. Over here, we got Imagine, and then over here, we got a leg up for health. Now it's just a matter of getting it all in view for you. I can see it all, but can you? Let's see. I'm going to actually take this off the stand, make sure we get it done. So that's going to be story number 1 right there, those 4 cards, short and sweet. Let's move over here for story 2. We'll get that one done second. And then story number 3 will be the larger story about health, and we'll do that one. We'll save that for last. All right, Cancer, let's get to work. Got to tell you about the wonderful moon cycles too. We got some great moon cycles in January and February, some of the biggest ones of the year actually until August. So that's going to be a huge deal too. We'll talk about that later in your reading though. Let's get started with story 1. Story 1, keep in mind this is all about health. This is a health spread. So first thing they talk about is kind of being out on your own here a little bit. They describe it as cold. Your health missing the warm and fuzzies. So we need to get this improved here. We need to get this is for the way that you can attach if the story is about you or not. Well, is there a a pretty significant health improvement to be had? If the answer is yes, you could very well be with me in story 1. If you're in relatively good health, probably not the story for you. Now, what they talk about here is, kind of it's just been left out to dry. It hasn't really been used. It hasn't been utilized. You haven't really dealt with your health in a while. And that probably is why they're talking about this, especially in January when people are doing New Year's resolutions and really addressing health concerns. They do talk about exchanging gifts with my Oracle Angel card, so more than likely, this is like a give and take. This is something like, you really put in the work, you really get the result. Maybe even with somebody else, you pay a gym, they let you use the gym. It's give and take. It's very much something like that. And it could even be in reference to moving money around. Some of you actually may have to put money into improving your health, whether it's, getting on a diet and buying the right foods, or, like we talked about, going to the gym or something like that, or maybe even something different. Maybe some of you, this is a different approach to health, which is like, more, maybe something more cosmetic or something like that you've been waiting to do, and the money hasn't been right. And probably less of the audience there. But the next thing they show here is the King of Wands, which is coming in on a block. And this is saying here that there is an authority with work that is being blocked or not here that is affecting your health. So basically, long story short, I know I'm talking tarot and it doesn't probably make sense to you. So let me translate. What they're saying here is there's something to do with your work corner that is affecting your health. Either, you're breathing in something bad at work, you're around germs, you're on your feet all day, it's bad for your circulation, fill in the blank depending on what you do. There's something that is affecting you here, if you're with me in story 1, that needs to be addressed. You really need to be firm with this. You need to figure it out. Now, I always tell people the simple one is, if you're a cashier, you're on your feet all day, you're a waitress, something like that, and you're on your feet all day, a nice pair of comfortable shoes can really go a long way toward your posture, toward your health, toward your feet health, the whole thing. So there's something, of course, that's just an example. That's not going to be specific to you more than likely, but you get the idea, is that you really need to be authoritative with the way that work is affecting your health. And even if it's just not letting you sleep, you're working too many hours and you're not getting enough rest, relaxation, something like that, hey, you know what? It's important. Because they show here that, a lot of you have been beaten up here. So physical injury comes up, actually. So maybe some of you have worked so hard that, you pulled muscles. I know, I used to have like a shoulder issue, and as soon as I built up the muscle in my shoulder, it really fixed that problem. So sometimes you have to do kind of some adverse things. You think, go back to the example of the shoulder I just told you about. You would think, okay, well, you got a shoulder, rotator cuff, something like that. You got to get surgery done to it, or you just got to stay off of it or something like that. Not always the case. Sometimes movement is medicine. Sometimes you just have to move it more. Or in my case, it was build up the muscle around it, and that really helped kind of alleviate the pain of what was going on and what was wrong, and my body was able to fix itself. So in that same way, we have overcoming injuries here for you in story 1. So do what you got to do to overcome these injuries with your health, and especially if it's in reference to work. Pretty big deal there. So there we go, story 1. Story number 2, and then we're going to get into some moon cycles, guys. Story number 1, first thing we talk about is, this is for my people that the health has been a kind of a wild ride, a little bit of drama with health here for some of my Cancers here in story 2. And I almost feel like you're at a peaceful place right now, but it doesn't mean it always has been that way. Okay, so we really want to keep it that way. It's just like because you've won the battle. This is my War and Chaos card. So I'm going to give you the battle kind of analogy here. Just because you've won the battle does not mean you've won the war. Just because, you've lost 5 pounds, doesn't mean you should stop. You've been eating really good the last, few weeks or something like that, even through the holidays. And you know what? Yeah, I've lost 5 pounds. I'm good. Now I'm going to slack. No. You've won the battle, but you haven't won the war. Okay, so remember the past health struggles and things that you've overcome too, and how you've overcome that, because everybody is different. Every body is different, and some bodies respond well to different things. And that's why I always say it's good advice to try new things, because you never know what's going to work for you. Just because it didn't work for your neighbor or your mom or your sister doesn't mean it won't work for you. Every body is different. So, there is still that coming in about, you got to win the war. You got to keep fighting. Keep fighting for your health here. They do bring up do things the right way. This can also be a card about purification, which basically means like a kind of like a cleanse. kind of like a purging of, we're going to talk more about that with moon cycle stuff. It's very full moon energy. So this is more than likely early in January when you guys should be addressing these health concerns here in story 2. Early in January. So the Hierophant card is taking care of people too. So some of you may be taking care of other people who have health ailments or are really in need of care. And or we go back to the first definition I told you of purification. So really good time to take care of your purification organs, your liver, your spleen, kidneys, all that kind of stuff. Flush it out with water or different cleanses that you can check out. And like I said, just because it doesn't work for some people doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. It's a good time to try new things too. Experiment a little bit. Do some kind of new cleanse here. Your body will like it more than likely because it's coming up for a reason. Spirit's not just throwing junk out here just so I can talk. The next thing we have here is, really learning from your lessons. They are saying a lot of you here in story 2 have not learned from your health lessons. And you know what? You really should be moving past this point now. Spirit's a little confused. They're like, they've been through this. They've done the work. They don't really have a lot of lessons left to learn here. Why do they keep repeating this? It reminds me of I know that my body doesn't like corn chips, but I love corn chips and I keep eating them. It's like, better, but you still do it anyway. And for some people, this could be donuts or candy or caffeine or, whatever it is for you, alcohol, the whole bit. So lessons learned that should have been learned and overcome, and it's repeating in January. So you really got to address it in January if you're here in story 2. They bring in a leg up, so they really want you to elevate. They really want you to elevate your health. January is a good time to address it, like we talked about. This is also a time where you can be doing things with other people for health. Maybe it's about you boosting somebody else up. Maybe it's about them boosting you up, doing something together, really feeding off of the energy of camaraderie, dieting together, exercising together, something like that. Or they could just want me to talk about your leg. A leg up. Okay, so maybe something with the leg is going on there. And we go back to movement. That movement is medicine. Maybe just walking, brisk walk can help get you moving around. Different things for different people. Some people, this is a marathon, but they bring up a leg here. So attention to the leg or, a leg up. In story number 2, I'm going to cut away for your moon cycles. We did talk about that purging energy of the cleanse. That's going to be full moon energy. And we have huge moon cycles going on in the month of January as well as February. But let's talk about January first. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. Let's talk about those moon cycles because we have the most lunar activity now, January and February until August, guys. So these 2 months are going to be huge. Let's talk about January. The first thing that comes in January is on January 6th. This is going to be a micro full moon. It's called the wolf moon because it's the first full moon of the year of 2023. And the full moon is the best time to get anything out of your life that doesn't fit there, that you don't want there in general. Hey, you just got to get it out. It doesn't matter what it is. The universe doesn't care. We've done very specific spreads this month, and it doesn't matter if it's something we've talked about or not. Let's say it's something, for some of you it's people. You got to get people out of your life. For some of you, you got to sell something. You got to repurpose something to get it out of your life. Emotional baggage, stress, anxiety. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that's got to go and be removed from your life, let's say certain eating habits, the whole bit. It's full moon energy, guys, and the best time to do that is the first week of January. This is very much, New Year's resolution stuff is when you do new things. Well, actually, the way that the moon cycles line up, that's not the case. It's actually the best at the beginning of the new year to get rid of something out of your life with that full moon energy. Now, adversely, and what does micro mean? Micro just means that it's small in the sky. So it's smaller visibly than normal. And, does that mean that it doesn't work as well? No, not really. You can still get it done. It's, the energy is lightened a little bit. But let's talk about that new moon because that's the opposite. That we have another super new moon coming in January. We just had one in December. We're going to have another one in February. And right now in January, the sky is going to be huge. It is the super new moon. It happens on January 21st. So, don't focus on the end of the month because that gets back into the full moon eking in from February. But let's call it the third week. The third week of January is the best time to bring actually anything brand new into your life. That New Year's resolution stuff, save it for week 3. I'm telling you, much better chance of getting it to stick and making it apply. And you can just use this new year between now and then as preparation time to get ready for these changes that you're trying to make. And what are you trying to bring new into your life? Well, like I said, the universe doesn't care. It doesn't matter what you use it for. You can use it to attract new love. You can use it to attract new finances. Do something new with work, something new with health. It doesn't matter. So if it's something new, The third week of January is going to be your target time for that, so please stick to that. It's going to help it just move a little smoother. And if any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. It is for free, and it is on my website. You can check that out anytime. It's on my videos tab. Go to the bottom there. You can see the moon cycle cheat sheet, and it shows you how these energies flow in and out and how best to align important decisions in your own life to them to make things go a little smoother. That's what it's all about, guys. While you're at the website, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter program. That's at the sign up for that is at the very bottom of every single page, as well as follow the Facebook page because I do giveaways on there, as well as my newsletter. People get giveaways as well. And I only send one newsletter email every single month. It's just for promo codes and updates, see what's going on. We're always doing new and fun things on the channel, on the site. And also, guys, now I need to tell you about the new product. Speaking of new fun things, I have my quadrants video. I only do these in January, guys, and this is releasing on January 3rd. If you're checking out this video after January 3rd, it's going to autoplay after your reading. But if not, you guys are going to have to check it out. But it's going to be available and posted everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, on my website, the whole bit. Check out your quadrants video. It forecasts the entire year for your sign, and we're looking at what is the best quadrant, what is the best quadrant is basically a circle that's broken into 4 parts. So this is your year. What quadrant, what quarter is the best for you, for work, for health, for love? What is the best quadrant to take a vacation in? What is the best quadrant for you to be a little conservative? What's the best quadrant for you to get busy and take risks? All these things are going to be looked at in the quadrants video. You can get a sampling of that for yourself for the sign, and that's going to be available to everybody. But let's say you want quadrants done just for you. This is the first time I'm releasing this, guys, as a personal audio product. It is part of the mini product line, and this allows you great planning and preparation tools for the entire year. It's the only time I offer this, and it forecasts the entire year. So this is all about you, so it's extremely accurate. And looking at all these things, it's a huge drop of information, guys. It's the best, probably the best bang for your buck. Anytime I've done this for friends, for colleagues, for clients, they always say, if you only get one thing a year, this is like the best thing to do because it outlines everything that is important and relevant. So, and you guys get to check that out for free, a little sampling in the general reading. But if that's not good enough for you, you want something that's all about you, the quadrants video is now available as a personal audio product on the website. And it's extremely affordable, best bang for your buck you can get. Speaking of new things on the website, guys, I got to tell you about the shop. We got Tiger's Eye gemstones going in on the shop, and I'm going to be flashing pictures up as I talk about it here. We got the standard golden Tiger's Eye. We got the red flare Tiger's Eye. It's just red Tiger's Eye. I call it flare because it's so shiny. And then we got the blue Tiger's Eye, also very, very shiny, very deep dark blue. And they all kind of vibrate a little bit differently, but they're all kind of the same major themes. Tiger's Eye is really good for negating any kind of negative energy, transmuting it basically, and it's also good for insight and seeing things very clearly, and a whole host of other things as far as medical reasons too, medical things that it really does to boost your body. So a whole host of different things. I'm not going to we got to get back to your reading. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but the whole write-up is on the website, scottsagent.com. You can check out all 3 of them and the differences between each of them. And also available, I got a few keychains to go with them. There's a few individual products for keychains. And the best part about the whole thing is what it comes with. Any kind of gemstone purchase is going to come with a free little nylon drawstring bag, a little way to carry your gemstone. And also a little pendant, which is going to be a separate gemstone. Both of those are going to come for free. Okay, well, what if I just buy one gemstone? Do I still get that stuff for free? Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You get all of it with every purchase. Now, it's only 1 per month, guys, but you know what? Most people are only going to make 1 purchase a month anyway. So you're getting all this free stuff with any gemstone purchase, and you can read that right up online. It's a no-brainer, guys. Make sure you check out all 3 of those beautiful Tiger's Eyes. Now let's get back to your reading. Okay, Cancer, I am back with story number 3. This is the larger, longer story, and I feel like this is going to be most of my audience too, okay? If you got a story that's happened earlier, doesn't mean you can be excluded here. This may be partially you here too. You may get some good tidbits, but what they're saying first, what we start off and kick off with is my 5 of Wands on an invert. It's basically saying getting over little small stick fights. What are stick fights? Little small disagreements in the health corner. Little stuff. Not a big deal. Now, some stuff may seem like a big deal to you, but Spirit's perspective, it's not. This is just little stuff. You guys are good. Not worried about it. So that's the attachment card. That's how you know the story is about you. Now, what they want to talk about and bring up here is the Hermit card on an invert, like basically saying that this is more than just about you, though. This is other people involved here. So there's other people that can benefit from either your knowledge. Maybe you should let them know how you're able to keep good health. Learning things, sharing things. Maybe you happen to be a nutritionalist, or you have a regimen and you're always very healthy because of it, something like that. Well, guess what? If you might have the knowledge and the wisdom, but if you don't share it, nobody else gets it. Nobody else gets to benefit from it. So keep in mind too that there may be some giving and taking there and some sharing. So there's other people involved here. And the way that other people are involved is going to be different for every Cancer, but it's coming up, and in a general reading, it is hard to specify. Spirit does a good job of arranging all this to be very, very accurate for us. The storyline helps too, breaking it up into 3 different groups. But at the end of the day, nothing beats a private reading, and personal private readings are available on my website, scottsagent.com, in a wide variety of different forms, including a health scrub. So if health is something that you want to look at just for you, I have that right there. Now, what they talk about here with other people too is that there's a collapse coming, and a collapse does not necessarily mean bad. Now, it may, somebody may have a health collapse where just all of a sudden, now they had a stroke, they're having issues with vocabulary or anything else. That would be a collapse. That would be a negative collapse. But here's like an example of a good collapse. Good collapse would be like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna, starting at a certain date, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm doing vitamins, I'm doing natural, organic, or maybe I'm doing all vegetables, whatever it is for you. Whatever you're doing, this is a major deal here in story 3, and it kicks off, and it's not just you, it's other people that are involved. And it may not be you at all. It may be you getting this other person motivated to do this thing, to make this collapse happen, to make this drastic change. And it's a quick change. This is like an overnight deal. So this can be like, it doesn't have to take a long time to take effect. This can be decided upon in the instant. Really it can. And they do bring in that this is this has to be an early in the month thing, guys, because we have, again, the early kind of push. The full moon is going to be a big deal for a lot of my Cancers. It's just unavoidable. It doesn't mean you can't start new things under the new moon too. You certainly can, but the full moon is big because we've repeated it twice. So this is early in the month of correspondence about your health. So you're getting notifications either from, like your doctor saying, hey, you're due for a checkup, or hey, we got your test back, you need to do this, or hey, maybe the notification is just, your body telling you something like, hey, I don't really feel right in my stomach. Maybe I should go do that cleanse that we talked about. Maybe I should get up and exercise a little bit more. Maybe now is the time to address these kind of things. So that is pretty much where we're wrapping up the health spread. Now, this has been a very fascinating one, and the health corner spreads, the specific corner spreads always do that to me. It sounds boring when you start, but once you get into it, it's pretty fascinating stuff. So we're going to grab a runestone now, guys, and kind of bring the whole thing together. One last swirl, and they're ready to go. So here is the runestone for my great Cancers for the month of January, starting off the new year. Here we go. This is the runestone of wholeness. Wholeness makes me feel like whole foods, eating good foods, doing good things for your body. Wholeness. So becoming whole in health. That is the whole vibe of January. And I would advise whatever story you are here, Cancer, whatever situation you have going, everybody can improve. Everybody can do things a little better. And even if you can't, and even if you're in perfect, esteemed health here, you know what? You can use that and help other people also become in great esteemed health. So wholeness, find a way to get your health wrapped up here. So February, it's just not a factor. February is going to be about different things, and maybe January is too, but they still wanted to talk about this. So this was pretty prevalent for a lot of different people here in the sign of Cancer. So that's going to wrap up the entire thing, which has been a very good, insightful reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos. That's it for me. Happy New Year. Have a great January.